live. I'm going to go through a little bit of a structural change. Not so different, but I'm trying to find the proper balance here. I don't necessarily think going 40 minutes deep without looking at the comments and things like that, because I feel like I'm losing a little bit of a connection of being able to talk to everybody during the live itself from the beginning to the end. So I'm probably going to decide to put my comments back on so I can see as people come in, because I actually like to say hi to everybody and get things rolling. So I think I'm going to look just so I can see everybody. I think we need that personability as well, especially in the way the environment is around us. I think we just need to have the, it's nice to have that bond. It's nice to have the bond. So Crazy Paul, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Wales, Josie Wales, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year. Defined Group, welcome in, and I appreciate you and Aaron being in Tom's Army for your second month, along with James Doolittle with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. XRP Zombie, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Marco Tromley and Mick Michael, thank you both so much for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Army for 3+ months. UK Phil, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army. I know you in over, I don't even, what is that? It's there's something by it, but I can't see it. I think it's the I Told You So badge. But thank you for that, UK Phil. Let's see. I think I'm caught up to where I can actually look. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's going fast today. I love seeing everybody commenting right now. I really do. Defined Group, I got to you, my friend. Let's see. Marco, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XP Meteor. CJ2 Pilot, good evening, my friend, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Jorge, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor and being a very trusted mod. Says, hello, people. Hello, Tom. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to Tom's channel for the best technical analysis on YouTube. I appreciate that. And make sure you turn on the bell notification to all, because my content has been getting... It's been hard to find even when you search my channel at times. So I encourage you to join into my Telegram, and I will share it in the comments. I'll remember to do this more often, and I'm starting to see the value in it even more. Even if you don't want to talk or be a part of it in a sense, you can join the Telegram, and then I have a section, and I'll show everybody, where it'll tell you when I have a live, when I have an update. And it'll just be very easy. And somebody had suggested in my Telegram that I should probably mention that to everybody so that they know that they can go in there. So if you go to the Telegram, it'll look something like this. So I have Tom's Army. And then if you go to the content, like all of these you'll have. But if you go to the content links, then it'll show when I do my updates. Like the live I put on here first. JW, I appreciate you being here as well, my friend. Been here since the very beginning practically. For some reason, YouTube shadow bans his comments, and it's quite irritating, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's literally no fix to it, and it's just irritating. Let's see. But like I said, I appreciate everybody being here, and we're going to get into some real talk here, too, as well as the technical analysis, which it'll do everybody good, I promise. It'll do everybody good. Aaron, welcome in, and thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for your second month, my friend, with the Dusty Autos Crypto News. Says 2 updates and a live all in 1 day. Tom is the man. Well, that's what I usually do, and I don't like to take rest on the weekend. Well, I don't usually do 2 updates. I usually do an update, a short, and then a live. Today I decided to do 2 updates, which kind of merged into one, I suppose, because I showed a couple different things. Let's see. Papa Wheelie, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. Timothy, good evening, and thanks for maintaining in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor, along with Marco Tremley. Jan, welcome in, love, has been in Tom's Army for 3+ years with the XRP 589. I mean, the XRP Diamond Hands badge. Sorry, I don't get to say that one very often. Incredible. We're almost to our 4-year badge, too, which is amazing. It's crazy to see we've been on that long. At least we're not red. That's right, we're up 0.5%, James, and we can take solace in that. And I will. Shane, good evening, my brother. I'm glad to see you in the house as well. Let's see. I be killing it. Good evening. When retail is priced out, what exactly does that mean? Like the average Joe's price? Yes. I'll get into my my headline as well. I'll let you know exactly what that means. But yes, you're on the exact right trail, my friend. Exact right trail. Aaron, thank you so much as best community. I really do think we have a good time in there. Like sometimes I'm more present. Like today I was very present in the Telegram. I'm always there in some fashion during the day, but I was getting a lot of work done in my house and a lot of stuff with my special needs son, but I made more of a concerted effort too to be checking in, even if I'm not commenting. I always check in, but I'm starting to read the stories deeper down, and like, you know, there's some people that are going through some pretty interesting things along the lines of like what I deal with in my personal life. And then some are going through things that are even more extravagant. And some are even facing in this environment, as some of you are watching right now, with job loss possibilities. Some of you are facing, like there's so many things that I can see at a personal level that I had somebody said that they would have lost it without having this, you know, with our group. And it's like, I would have lost it over these 4 years. I've been through so much over these 4 years, and it's almost been like this is my therapy in a way. Terry Hayes, welcome in, and thank you so much for being a part of this. And the love from the UK, I love you back. Thank you all too for letting me be part of your world. You know, that's it's a big thing, especially when you talk finances. It really is. And opening up to me too. I find in the Telegram a lot of people open up, because I've done this a few times around, and this Telegram is something special, man. I don't put up with any BS at all, you know, and we just have something cool. That's what will stop it. Jennifer Kupiak, welcome in. Thank you so much for being a part of this whole thing. It means the world to me to have you in here. Joseph, it really does. And you know, I've learned a lot about horses too, and being kind of like, you know, being out to pasture kind of thing, like on the farms and stuff. That's not an easy thing. From everybody. Yeah, there's just so much stuff you can learn from everybody. Like, there's just so much. Jose, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge as well. You and Jan both in for many, many years. Many years. All right, Jess, what's up, my friend? Love it. I love seeing all the familiar faces. See, this is what was missing. Now, I know some people might not like when I talk to everybody in the beginning. I missed this. This is the part I missed. Like, I was going through it, I'm like, I almost feel like a robot doing it because I'm not talking to anybody. I like this. It's okay, Papa, really. We just love seeing you when you're in here, my friend. Seriously. I don't care if you're in here 1 day or a million days, or maybe you're only in the Telegram, just like I was saying, just so you can see the update when I put stuff out. I mean, and the Telegram is so special to me because the first time around, it didn't go well. So I stopped for like almost 2 years as I handpicked people to stay, and then people that I added, and all of a sudden, because of James, I finally opened it back up about a couple months ago now, and it's the best decision. There's so many good people. But all right, let's get past the touchy feelies and all that good stuff. But we do have to get down to business here. We do have to get down to business. Sim Racer, welcome in. Rick, good evening, and thanks for being a very, very trusted mod for for a very long time, for years, some would say. Trial by Fire, welcome in. He says, love this community, or love this for the community. I dig the change of pace. Oh, see, I love it. Where can you find your Telegram? Did I not pin it on this in the comments? Hold on, let me check. I may not have pinned. Yeah, okay, so it's pinned in the comments of this live. So in the chat you're in, look to the top where it shows the pinned message. That's the Telegram. I pinned it. I think there are, how many people are in there now? Now that I open it, I know there's more than a couple hundred people in there now. It's interesting. There is, wait a minute. 259 people in there now. So, you know, the more I talk, and I haven't talked about it, and I don't know how long in the actual lives, but I don't know. There's something about it. There's something about it. It's, even in your personal life, if you're like, there's a lot of people that are facing a lot of stuff in there, you know, we're all going through something. That's the thing you can get out of it. Everybody's going through something, you know. Jennifer's out there with the cows right now, out here with my cow. I sadly had to dry off due to what is happening in the job. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And, I know you deal with finance and stuff, so it's hitting you especially hard with what's going on. But like, I still, Jennifer, will say, you know, there's one thing that I can hold solace in. It's the fact that we understand certain tokens, and some more than others, and the levels we're at and the things that can happen going forward. Even though we know that we may not even be at the floor, but we know. We know. And it's not just Jennifer. It's not just me. It's a lot of us. It's a lot of us. Joseph Kupiak, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 3+ months now at the XRP Meteor. And I seen one other person, Jose. Watch recycle, repeat, as he says in the comments. Watch the content. That's what I would say. Watch the content, recycle to friends and family, and repeat. Come back and watch the next update and or live. Or short, as it turns out these days. And thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. My man. Son of a gun, that guy. I'll tell you what. So, but the good news is we have so many things. We have so many things, you know, to talk about. And, you know, Jennifer, that it's funny you bring up the heart, not funny, but it's funny in a sense, the timing. Because I was talking to Julie before my live, like a couple hours ago, and I said, Julie, I go, there's something missing. I go, in the lives, I missed the personability, and whether it's positive or negative, I told her the one aspect that I'm going back to, whether it makes people uncomfortable or not, is get used to this. We have to do positivity over negativity no matter what. No rudeness, kindness. We have to hold a certain level-headedness here, especially with the timing we are and what the conditions are, to where we have to go back to the positive. We have to look at it from a positive perspective. And even in my headlines, I'm going to go from a more positive. It's going to be more positive. We're going to put that positive energy back into this like we had at the end of the year, you know, and into the early year. So, oh, you can absolutely yell at Define and he can yell at you. I'm talking about the general direction and buzz here. So like how about this? My delivery is going to be more positive. Yes, we can talk negative and how it can go all crazy. And I think we need to change things. I really do. I think we need to define, only because I know how you are in the Telegram and your personality. Some might not know you and they see the don't yell at me and they're like, oh my God, he's making them uncomfortable. But I know exactly what you're probably doing while you're saying that. And it's like, of course I would laugh out of place, but does anybody understand what I'm trying to say here? How this is kind of needed, how we need to stay in this elevated wave frequency, or this frequency brainwave. And oh yeah, that T-bar, that's the point. I'm just going to do me, you know, well, let's not get into the gratification things, but I'm just going to, you guys know what I mean. How some of you will go even farther. Patience is power in XRP and in life. The future belongs to those who hold steady. Absolutely, John. Mr. Carter in the house. Hashtag M2C. Thank you, Mr. Carter. Tony Carter. And Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. He's in Mother's second choice, and my God, are they phenomenal. Played the music a lot here. I love it. I hope you're doing good out there in the Outback, Mr. Carter. George, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Jennifer, you and Tom, can you... you and Tom can yell at... Oh, crap, I need to look at my phone. It's a good thing I already have this out. He said, you and Tom can yell at me as much as you want, guys. I love it. Mike, welcome in, says, oh, Tom, you always get me all hot and bothered on it. I know I do, Mike. That's what I'm saying. I got to tone it back sometimes. You know, but what can I say? All this glory in front. This audience is unlike any other. That's the truth. It's the truth. Let's see. Diamond hands will prevail, Rick said. Of course, everybody love, everybody know, yelling on the bus. Oh, see, that's why everybody needs to be in the Telegram. Even when we're talking serious, we have such funny moments. Great sunny days. Well, we're going to do sunny days at the end of this. I can assure you of that. DGB is on the right apex of breaking out of the ascending triangle. Joseph, you are 100% correct about that. That's why I was about to talk about it, and we will. We're going to get into DGB, I promise. Thank you for what you do, Tom. Crazy Paul, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor, and also a $9.99 donation. That is super generous. Like, super generous. It always shocks me when anybody pays it forward with their hard-earned money. I mean, it's the greatest honor I could ever feel. But let's do the intro. And I think this is, I feel a lot better today. I feel a lot better because you know what it ends up being when it just becomes about the charts, and then it becomes about, it's like work. You know, then it becomes about, I might as well be doing this with AI talking. You know, today on the chart, XRP at $2.19. Well, this must be Japanese AI or Asian. The low could be down to $2 and I should just do it like that. I could just be like a robot. I should do a separate channel and just do it just like that and see, and then I would just look like this and nobody would know my personality. I'd be like, oh, why you yell at me? You know, and then I don't know why it always comes out like that, but Julie always says it. Asian, there you go. But it always comes out like I always sound like an old Asian lady for some reason. But anyhow, good evening. 7:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Saturday, April 26th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire with the side bet on XM and Future Digibyte OG, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Aaron says, do the intro with the accent. Good evening. No. I don't know if I could do it. I would almost sound like a sensei. You're better than AI, Tom. I appreciate that. No, all I was saying is that it kind of feels like that, you know. And I like to be more personable, and I like to get to know everybody. I think this is why I'd like to do this every single day. See, now I get this energy from everybody, like this positive energy, and you surge through it. So let's see. Who said that? Where's this? I gotta wait for that comment again because I can make one comment happy instantly. Who said? To find, I in fact do remember. Whoops. Maybe not. Maybe not as good as I thought. Oh no! What'd you do to me? I got so small. XRP at $2.19. You know that's. I used to. That's how I used to answer the call. But anyway, now I'm off on the... When I'm positive, I get a little stupid sometimes. That's the problem. See, if you get me off a serious time and I'm too positive, then I just get too funny sometimes, and then I can't get the point across. You know, I'm actually natural on the stage, which is funny. Jorge says, "Oh, you mini Asian Tom." Oh no, I shrunk. Honey, I shrunk the kids. But no, and somebody says size doesn't matter. Oh, you would say that. All right, kid. But anyhow, I want to get to the title and stuff. No. Honestly, whoops. The problem is I'm not. That's the problem. This is just me. I told you, when I get too positive, I just get like this. I wish it was because of the other reasons, but I get too goofy. Julie knows. If I get too positive, don't I turn into goofy? I what? I did hit my head today pretty hard, and I did. In all truth, I did hit my head. And I have a little bump on the side of like right here on my head. I hit it pretty hard. So, you know, I don't have a headache though. Thanks, Julie. I was just in a positive spirit. I forgot to hit my head. So you're telling me it's because I hit my head I feel like this. I'll take it. Julie said God had to shake me a little bit. Had to slow my mind down. James said concussion, Asian Tom. Because I started talking, and you know how an Asian guy comes out. Oh, no. And we went mini Tom. Because my screen, I went real small. And then I just started talking Asian, kind of. Even though it doesn't mean to come out that way. But, all right, let's get into XRP real quickly. So, not real quickly because we just started, but we have to go over just a few little points here. And I appreciate everybody being in here. I don't want to jinx it, but I think we are going up this weekend. No, don't say that. You laid the jinx. It's almost like in a baseball game when somebody's got a perfect game going, or a no-hitter, and somebody's like, oh, he's got a no-hitter. Or he's got a perfect game. Oh, really? I remember one time when I used to bowl, and I had 8 strikes in a row, and the guy's like, Tom, you could bowl a perfect game. Oh, no shit, Sherlock. Thanks for saying it out loud. Now the jinx gods are going to come at me, and they did. 9th frame, I threw a perfect shot, and I got the 7, and it's not even respectable. That wasn't even the 10 pin as a right-hander, and I have a lot of revolutions on my ball when I used to bowl. Not because I was a 2-handed bowler, none of that new age garbage. And then that 7 pin stood up, I was dumbfounded. But it's okay. I bowled a few 300s and an 800s here, so I'm not mad. John says Tom Lee. Indeed. Indeed. So let's get first into address the title. So I put down XRP about retail will be priced out at some point. And I firmly believe that. And what I mean by that is, and I believe for a certain extent, retail is getting priced out, but not entirely. So when I look at things in crypto, especially things that are of value, and especially in the Internet of Things, in the ISO tokens, but when you get past that, when you look into the tokenomics of certain tokens, when you look at the ones that have, like XRP has 99.9 billion tokens that'll be in circulation. I need those tokens. I need them to not burn them for what my plan is with XRP. And I don't have everybody else's plan of $1,000 or $10,000 XRP. If it happens, it happens. I'll be the happiest freaking person here, obviously. I'd be XRP future gazillionaire. Are you kidding? I wouldn't even be able to change my name to future billionaire or trillionaire. If we get to those prices, I'm going to be future gazillionaire. I'm going to be the next Scrooge McDuck. You know, I'm going to have a thing to jump off my balcony and swim in the gold, except I'm going to break my neck like in Family Guy when I do it because, you know, you're not going to go through the gold. But, you know, that's what's going to happen. I hope one day, my name of my channel, I'm XRP Future Gazillionaire because we run out of numbers. You know, or wouldn't it be cool if I was XRP Future Billionaire? That would mean we're millionaires through XRP. I mean, or at least through our stratosphere of where we're at. But the point of it being priced out, so right now it's 10,000 tokens. I think that's it's a very crucial line to draw in the sand. So when people ask me, Tom, what should I own of things? So it's very simple. When I look down the list, you have to have at least 10,000 XLM if you can afford to have it. And now it's not going to be, this is what I mean, it's not going to be as affordable and attainable. I would have said 10,000 XRP is what you should aim for. So, oh, Tom, that's not enough. And some people, oh, Tom, it's way too much. It's like, no. It's not way too much and it's not too little. I think it's the perfect amount because even for retail, and I used to tell people, collect cans, get a second job, do whatever the hell you have to do. Stop going to the bar. Stop going and doing things to go have fun like I did. And I'm not condoning you to do it. But like I stopped. Julie, no, we stopped. We don't do anything. Like we went to, the best we can do is we went to a movie one time here. We did good. We went and seen Minecraft because my mom was watching our little one. But we don't go anywhere. So like I literally transcended that mindset of being like, oh, I can't afford to invest with, well, I spent $35 a day on shit anyhow. Let's cut that out, or 100 or 200, whatever your goal or case may be. And it's like I just stopped doing all the even if it wasn't anything over the top, like, oh, I want this from the store. It's like, well, I don't really need that. My shoes are already 2 years old. What's another few months kind of thing? And then you start looking at it that way, and then all of a sudden you can afford to buy a new pair of shoes when the time's right. You know, like John says, Julie hit me hard. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. She is too nice to hit me. Well, she did hit me one time on accident. That was when we first moved in. I have a bad reflex when I'm sleeping. I train myself to come out swinging if I get woken up abruptly, and that, you know. So, anyhow, with XRP though, think about it. 10,000 tokens. When it was at 35 cents, that's 3,500 bucks. 40 cents, 50 cents, that's $5,000 or less. Yes, it's going to take a minute to, you know, be able to have it, but there was a very long time, almost 2 years, where you could have been accumulating, and even if it was 50 bucks a week, 100 bucks a month even, you know, there was time. So now we look at it and you get a lot of the narrative, and this is the reason it's a narrative. You're always going to, remember, you're always, no matter what, you're always going to have the schlub who gives the narrative. Because either they missed XRP, they wish they would have bought it when it was a lot cheaper than it is now. So now what's the one thing they can do? Oh, XRP is a pile of shit. It never moves. It's always going to go down. This is that's common talk. So don't listen to that negativity. Instead, look at it this way. Be the positive person. And another thing, We don't even need to demoralize the people who are being negative, because when you start to feed that negative energy, listen to this, and I think this is a very sound thing to understand. It took me a long time to realize this. If you push negativity back with anything but positivity, even if you're just, oh, well, they're being so negative, I've got to give them that negativity back, and it's only for this one instance, it blackens you just a little bit. Think of your heart as red and pure. Well, just by associating and letting your mind wander and get into that negative mindset for that 3 seconds of saying it, and then you're like, oh, well, that doesn't bother. Well, the problem is now you've invited that negativity, and now the next time you see something, it's going to be just a little bit easier to push that negativity back out. And before you know it, you go from this positive, all-loving, all-encompassing, all-respecting, you know, humility-filled, humble, and you start to be, well, you know what? That person shouldn't have that. And then you start to envy, or you start to get jealous, or you start to get mad that certain things happen a certain way, and then it throws you off of your own cycle. So the bottom line is here is stay focused to what you're doing and don't invite the negativity in. That's something in 25 will be my biggest lesson learned. The negativity, no matter what, don't even enforce it. Don't mess with it. Don't invite it or give back to it willingly, because then it's going to seek you. And I truly believe that. So, and I know it. I know it to be true just based on past history and events. You know? So, the way I want to look at this is, all right, being positive here. But the XRP and the crypto market, even if it comes down, don't look at it as a line of negativity or a line in the sand where, oh my God, it only goes down. The bottom line is here, XRP, 10,000 tokens. I started this March 24th of 2021. So I've got as good as a record as anybody over the last 4 years in XRP, because I've done this every single day. I argue you probably can't find many people for 4 consecutive years that have only done this. Don't have to go to a job, study the charts, have a community where I do updates and lives every single day, but we look at it so deep on XRP that we're not missing anything for a 4-year stretch. And I think that's important now. You know, now it's been 49 months and counting since we have done this and not missed a day covering XRP. Not missed a day of getting the news or information or the nuances of what's going on, the technology, all these advancements. And what I can tell you is there's only been a small time in history where I could sit here with 10,000 tokens and it be worth anything more than $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. For the majority, it was worth between 3,500 and about $6,000. Now all of a sudden, we're sitting here. Oh, I see what you did there, Miley. Thank you, Lord. That was a test, because usually I would have had a certain response for a certain person. So the 21,000 right now on 10,000 tokens, that's 3 times more than the average of what we've seen during the 3 years. And the whole point of that is it more attainable now to get XRP, or was it more attainable in the bear market to get XRP? The answer for XRP was it was way more attainable then. You're talking about a $3,500 investment. Now you're talking about $21,000. Is that even attainable for retail? I argue. And if it is it a case of I have to buy a lot of 5? Okay, so when I say retail's priced out, here's another way to define it. You want to buy 10,000 tokens of something in the 21 bear market or 22 bear market or 23, right? So 21,900 right now. So you say, okay, what can I afford for 10,000 XRP? Well, I can afford, and I used to tell my audience, I could do about $4,000 or $5,000 is what I'd be comfortable with on XRP. So therefore, when I sold it at $1.66 in 21, and I told the audience to do the same. It's the only time that I ever went out on a limb. I didn't really understand the repercussions if I would have been wrong, how I could have got sued out the shitter. But fortunately, it worked out. My analysis was right. But now I always say I'm not a financial advisor, so do what you will. Don't hang me. I'm not judge and jury. I'm nobody. I'm just Tom. So you look at it and you're like, well, what's the bottom line of what I can afford with XRP? And do this, honestly. Do this with any of your other assets, whatever you want to own. And you say, well, I want 10,000 tokens. I can afford $4,000, right? $5,000, which means I have to have it at 50 cents or less. In my case, I said I wouldn't buy it unless it was under 40 cents because I thought very nicely it was going to go back down there after the 21 bull. I really was convinced, and for good reason. Yes, this is for entertainment purposes only. I like that, McMichael. I am not a financial advisor. I am not financial advisor. That's it. And you say I can afford 5, but now all of a sudden you're sitting there and saying, well, I can still get XRP, but instead of getting 10,000 tokens, now maybe you can only get 4. No, not even. How many could you get right now? Instead of getting 10,000 tokens, that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. Honestly, how many can you get right now? The bottom line, I want to see that. I'm going to get my calculator out. The bottom line here is, how many can we actually buy for that $3,500 right now? So 3,500 divided by $2.09. That's it? Oh my God, look at the difference. That's what I mean. So right now you're like, all right, well, I have $3,500. I know I can't buy 10,000 tokens, but what can I buy for it these days? 1,598 tokens. I would bash my head through the wall if I would have waited it for what I do. And no, I would have sat, how about this in the positive force? Instead of pumping my head through the wall, how about I would have sat down and took a hard look in the mirror instead of doing physical damage to myself. I would have sat there and said, what did I do wrong? Why didn't I do it here? And what could I do differently with something else that might be in the position I wanted? See, that's why going negative and saying, I'm going to bash my head through the wall, or going from the positive approach and be like, what could I learn from this? It's giving me a whole psychedelic look without being on psychedelics. Like, literally. You can almost get yourself into this frenzy where you start to... Have any of you ever had the snowball of negativity? So you think of something, then you think of something else, and all of a sudden you're just negative, and you're like, oh my God, this is everything spiraling. How about the power of positivity where we spiral upwards? Like, we always go on a downward spiral. How about on the uphill climb? The uphill climb to positivity instead of the downward spiral of negativity. Like, that's a new thing that I'm going to start thinking in my head and speaking about. I'm sure I made it up. I never heard anybody say the high climb to positivity, but we'll get there. So I want my cycle to start spiraling in the direction of positivity. Not about all the bad stuff that can happen. How about all the good stuff that can happen? Tom, me personally, and I'm blessed, I do not and will not put more than 10K in crypto per year spread across all. There, see? That's another thing. Okay, so you have $10,000 a year. Now it's like, okay, you have that to do, but where do we put it at? Right? Where do we put... You have a goal of $25,000 off of $2,500 investment. For XRP? Shane? Well, for that to happen, you're going to have to get extremely lucky at this stage. And I don't want to, oh, you mean like make $25,000 off of $2,500? Is that what you're talking about? Because that's a completely different ballgame. If you're talking about turning $2,500 into $25,000, now this is different. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I just want to get validation. XRP at 50. Yeah, okay, so that is what you're talking about, Shane. Okay, I thought you were saying you wanted to buy 25,000 XRP off of $2,500. And I say, oh, my friend, that might be past Shane opportunity. Future Shane opportunity, was what I was going to say. But, no, yeah. Assuming... Let's see. I know you're in a great spot with XLM and H-bar. Assuming you just do it properly, I think you'll be able to attain that. Now, if you start putting goals on it, like, oh, I need it to happen by July, August, September of this year, or June of next year, or July of 27. I don't like to put the deadline on it, because then when it gets there, you get disappointed. Like, what taught me a very hard lesson, and see, Shane, that's why I love it when you talk about your stuff now, because I see it in the Telegram too. You have stuff now that you're willing to watch and play through that 28 or 2030 area. You're young enough to where you can do this, and I love it. I'm young enough too to where I could watch this go another 20 years if I have to, and still be, just in my early 60s. Well, I'll be just 60, but you get the picture. But what taught me a huge, brutal lesson was gold and silver. Gold and silver taught me a big lesson in patience. Because until I bought physical bullion, I had no idea about basically how to accumulate. I would always swing trade. There wasn't a time before I started to amass gold and silver in the physical form that I would ever hold on to anything after it made the move I wanted. Nothing, ever. Nothing. I would always sit on something for a month or two, and once it made the move, if it took 6, it took 6. If it took a year, so be it. But I would always swing out of it. I never had that mindset. So I would have failed miserably at crypto if I wouldn't have learned that lesson before. I mean, I would have failed miserably. Because crypto is not a game of swing trading. I'm telling you right now, you can make a lot of money in swing trading. And James, this is directed a little bit at you and defined, directed at you a little bit. You can make a large sum of money swing trading. But I found overall in markets like this that are so volatile, you've got to go from a different approach. So I looked at what the institutions are doing in crypto, and I started to do a little study back in 21 and 22, and I started to look at it deeply. And they were not, in fact, swing trading. And what they would say is, and I listened to Warren Buffett say this too many times to not ignore it, if I believe in something and I think it's at the right spot and I invest in it and it goes down, I buy more because I believe in that investment and now I own more at a lower price. So, aye, James. Oh, no, I know yell at you, James. I might have to bring out the separate voice for James, just in case. But that's the truth. You know, that is honestly the truth about, like, how we can approach some of this. And XRP, some of you say, obviously, I love XRP healthcare. And I think in time, you guys, I think most of you know what I think is going to happen here. I really do think something big is going to happen. Wales, Josie Wales says, gold will be in a bull market till 2031. $4.99 donation. Excellent comment. I'm not even going to say it's because I love gold, but I don't disagree. I really do not disagree. I can't disagree either. Let's see. I wish I could do something here, but I cannot. Let's see. I wonder if it would let me do this. Interesting. What is this? Cool. I was just looking at the new changes they put on here. All right, I wanted to do like a poll style thing, but unfortunately I can't do it off my phone. But all right, so I'm just gonna ask the question. If you had, I don't know, $15,000 sitting in your savings, would you, and for the ones who believe in gold, would you have the ability or the balls or just the understanding of markets to put it in silver, since silver always usually waits for about 80% of the move to take place with gold, and in the last 20% of the move, silver just erupts. So silver usually makes, or should I put it better, silver usually makes 80% of its move in the last 20% of the bull market. So my question is I am not going to buy physical if I did this, because this is liquid cash that I need for liquid purposes. I don't have much liquid cash because I don't believe in keeping it around. But I would put it in like the iSilver Trust. It's backed by the physical silver 1-to-1. And they actually have the price under, it's actually the more legitimate price at, it's at like $1.50 or $2 less. But it's you're not, here's the thing, here's the big skepticism about the iSilver Trust. People say, I'm not going to buy that because there's no guarantee of delivery, which is true. Because unless you're a high value target that has a lot of money invested, having 15 grand in there, they're not going to give you delivery. So if it ever did go up and everybody at once wanted delivery on their silver, you would have to do it in cash dollars. That's the biggest hate people have when you do it through paper, especially the iSilver Trust. Is the fact that you're not guaranteed delivery. Even though it says you are, we all know that the iSilver Trust only has 1 ounce of silver for every 10 that people own. It's a fact. I don't care what anybody says. You can have your own opinion, and I respect that. Let's change the way I phrased it because we're trying to be positive. So I respect your opinion, but in this case, you'd be wrong. So if it's only the dime one of the only, yep. I agree with silver. So you're saying all season will hit first, usually then we can use profits to still get into iSilver. So I didn't say that. I was talking about right now. No, this is simultaneous. See, here's what everybody needs to understand. And by listening to me, you will. And James, I'm glad you're asking this stuff. Because for anybody who hasn't been around long, and you've been around a little bit, but you weren't around for the whole silver and all that stuff back a few years ago when we were actually hardcore into it because it was so cheap. But what I mean by it is that, all right, so you're in crypto. So let's just say you put $2,000 into crypto. You made great, you did a good job. You go through the bull market and it ends up being worth $14,000, let's say. Well, now you know the bull market's over and you're convinced. You're like, I'm selling out and this is how much I'm going to need because you marked down your price you want to buy. And let's say you want to have, instead of 2,000, right? What the hell is that? Turn simple sketches into art. It's the first time that's ever popped up. But let's say you made, from $2,000 to 14, but now you're like, you know what? Next cycle, I had $2,000 in this time. I did pretty good. I'd like to do $7,000 this time. You know what? I'm going to give myself an extra $5,000 allowance. And I'm going to buy XRP at this price now when it goes back down because clearly it's top. And this is just for hypotheticals. We haven't topped or anything like that, supposedly, yet. But this is what I want to buy it. So you realize you're going to spend $7,000 for between your XRP and whatever else. Now you got $7,000 sitting there. Some people take that and go to leverage. No. Only if you want to lose it all. Even a seasoned veteran like I will lose over time because it's so unpredictable and you always have those wicks down and wicks up even if you're 100% right. It happens all the time. So I always tell people, change your approach. This is how you create abundance for yourself. Instead of putting it into the bank for savings, because remember, if it's in crypto, that should be money you can never touch for bills. That's another lesson, but some can't live that way. I couldn't in the beginning. But now I do live that way. Same with my mining stocks and all that. It's not part of my funds. Same with my precious metals. It's if I don't even own that stuff. So if I go broke and sweat it out, it's as if I don't even have that stuff. So then I would say you take that $7,000 and you'd have a choice between gold and silver, bullion, physical. Because if you have physical, you're less likely to sell it. And the point of this is, of this exercise, you're never selling it. You didn't have that money to begin with. You forget about it, and now you have $7,000 today. I would buy it in silver because the gold-silver ratio is at 100. There's only been 13 weeks in history, or about 13 times in history, or weeks, closing of weeks where it's been over 100. So then you have $7,000 in silver, and that was from profits, and you have $7,000 that would be in crypto, including $5,000 of profit that now instead of $2,000 this next bull market, you have 7. That's 3.5 times more, which means if you have the same rally from 2 to 14, right? This time you have 7 to 49,000. So now in this bull market, and all of a sudden instead of 14, now you have 49. You're like, holy shit. This bull market's going to end. And mind you, this is 3 to 4 years down the road like we did this 2 times now. And you're, oh my God, now what do I do? Well, now you look at the gold-silver ratio and you're, oh my God, it's 100 again. Well, now instead of putting 9 or 7,000 in the market because I'm doing good, right? You're doing good. Well, you're like, I turned 2 into 14 and 7 into 49. This time I'm taking 25 grand. And I would too. I'm taking 25 grand and that's what I'm going to use for the next bear market. And now I'm going to have my list of what I want to buy. It better be IoT and ISO tokens. And this is the desired levels. And when we get there, I'll be interested in starting to buy back in. Well, now You've got $24,000 sitting there because you did so good. Now you buy it in silver, right? 25 grand in gold or crypto, started with 2 grand. Remember, this is still off that 2 grand. And then you've got $31,000 in silver now. Forget the price that it appreciated in between the 4 years on that 7 grand. Now you got $31,000 of profit sitting in silver and physical bullion. And you got 25 grand in cryptos. You had to go through 2 cycles in this scenario, which happens every time we 10x our portfolio this time. Just like the first time around. And well, maybe not 10x the last time around, but we did about, what was it? About 400%. So it's seriously doable. This is exactly what I did. I'm being dead serious. Like, this is all I did. But you have to be right on the cycles, and you have to have foresight. So it's not a fast-paced game. Some people get rich in a minute, but those same people who make a bunch right away, they lose it all within a year or two. After all, guys, the casino never stops. That's why, James, I kept telling you, easy come, easy go, and leverage. So once you get up 100%, the best lesson I ever learned, take your investment back. Worst case scenario, you have all your money back in your pocket. And that's the worst you can do. But then when you have stop loss, you're like, all right, I'm up 100%. Well, if it goes down 25%, I'm out. You know, in the leverage. Well, so what? It's 25% of profits. You've already got your initial investment back. So you can do that in spot trading as well. That's how I like to do it. In spot, I try to get to 2 or 3x. But you can do it at 1. Or you can just buy more than you want. So then when you sell out that part, you have your profits. That's what I like to do. So, you know, it spirals. It really does spiral, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, these are good lessons when we talk like this. You know, these are good lessons because it does spiral, and it spirals quickly when you start to do things right. Like, now all of a sudden I look at it and it's like I've got the 10,000 plus XRP. You know, I've got the mining stocks, like 3,000 plus of B2 Gold, over 1,000 of First Majestic and Fortuna each. You know, there's 4,000, what is it? A couple hundred shares of Pan America. Barrick Gold, there's 222 shares. And, you know, it starts to spiral. You start getting and it's like I'm not physically doing anything different. I'm just looking at past mistakes. And like, even now, something I learned from the bull market of 21, 2 mistakes. One, and I didn't even probably have enough money, but I don't know. I did use pretty much in that market. I basically used all of my liquid stuff to build myself a huge nest egg in the next 4 years that ended up happening, as you guys know. It wasn't easy. I do this every single day, so I didn't take the easy way. There is no easy way in a never-ending game of crypto. So that's something like you've got to be all in, and not in the funds. You've got to be all in the mindset. You've got to be all in the moment. And you've got to be all in when it comes to looking at the charts and looking at the news and looking at the public perception and looking at the fear and greed index and looking at what the national media is saying and looking at what the, you know, not just the fundamental of your independent token, but crypto fundamentals as a whole in this country or in the world. You know, so you want to maintain on that positive side of it so that you don't get backhanded by somebody's negative BS, right? So when you're watching somebody, you can sink or you can sift through the BS and you don't get caught up. The worst thing that happens to people is that fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and it leads to never-ending greed. Because when you have fear, when you have uncertainty, and you have doubt, no matter what your move is, it's going to be of greed. Well, I can't not invest my money because I'm not going to make the money. That's greed. Who cares? What if you lose the money? Well, I'm not going to lose it. It's crypto. Okay, well, unfortunately, you know, 99% of the time you will be down in crypto in a bear market until you're not. Like, there's very few people that could take it like we did in our community. And I'm just being honest. So this is a positive moment for everybody who's done this. Very few people who could have the foresight and be like, all right, we've already got this drawn out in the bear market. And we figured out in the bull market that this was a second top. And we're like, oh my God, what's the worst case scenario? When we seen it, we're like, uh-oh. And that's when I proclaimed, I will buy XRP, sub 40 cents, when it gets down here and it hits the uptrend again. Like, I didn't have any problem with that. And it showed in its history, it always comes back down there. So when it did it, right here, I'll never forget. We bought it at 28, sold at 44, and it dropped right back down to 34 cents or 32 cents. And all of a sudden they come on the air and they say, we're going to quantitative easing and we're going to lower interest rates. I said, and I even made an announcement. That's when I officially ended the Telegram during that cycle. And that's how long ago it was, in 22 into 23. I got mocked in my own Telegram, the one we have now, which it's good to share this stuff. You know, it's good because I wanted people to buy all of a sudden. They're like, well, you were saying maybe it could go sub 20. I'm like, guys, we're at 34 cents. It's close enough. Like, this is the time. We've been waiting for this, and now it's coming into our favor. Nobody wanted to buy. And it started to turn into a very negative zone in there, to the point to where I had had enough of all the criticism, and I stopped doing it. And I shut it down. And then I turned it into Tom's Army 2.0, and it took me 2.5 years to reopen it until I found one by one mines that I thought could keep it going long term. And I fortunately we're right so far. So we had the mindset. So now, you know, it's like, now what do we do from here? Well, for me, the target after all of that, and we were out in front of this the whole time, and we targeted it when it first started. $5.49 was the technical target out of this to start. Now, if you wanted to take it from the longer area, which I was uncomfortable with doing it from way back here and going down to here or coming across, because I think you measure it from here. And let me just show an example. I think you measure it from this area because it was more defined. And I'm not saying you can't measure it, because you can, and we did both ways. This is how we get the different numbers, and you're going to see it now. All right, let's see. So then we come across, and this is how we got those first targets. Remember? We just did this, and we said that that was the actual target, right? And now look how close this is. And now we're playing in that level. So that would be the first area. And we can do this in real time. You know, we can put these numbers back. Like this 230, we'll get rid of it. But look where this real-time number is. Now, you see how that's 237? Why is that interesting on the breakout? And that's the first technical target out of 2. And you measure the longer range, that's how you get the 549. What is... So, we would have to break 237 to maintain to get up to the next level, right? Well, what is the next big target here if we hold this consolidation? It's pretty crazy or cool how this all ties in. So, if we did it today... Whoops. If we did it today... You know, you'd be at about $2.36. If we go off into the future a little bit, not much, just a little bit, it's $2.33. So you've got to get over that area, and it all starts to line up on the charts. This, and then over the top is $2.47 roughly. So, like, these are areas we have to go through. So, yeah, every day is like a different education within itself. But I really do think, you know, it does help. And we can create abundance for not just ourselves, but for each other. But I'm going to sing Sunny Day soon because I got to go inside. My son's still a little under the weather. I know I want to go inside before it gets too late. But DGB, we are trying to break out of this last part. We have a Goldencross in the daily, which is fantastic. We have a nice daily close on the prior candle. With the way it closed, we had upper closure, which I like. We need to get over this 104, and then like Joseph said to start, we're working on the outside, on the right side of the ascending part of this pattern, which is good news. We can almost set this up more properly now, which I've been hesitant to do it like this, but I guess I can, only because it's showing the stability right now. I kind of do want to do this. I did this once and then I took it off because I didn't want it to be so crowded. But here, let's just do it. James, thank you so much for the $2 donation. I greatly appreciate that. Oh, Sunny Days is coming. I am doing Sunny Days. But I could almost argue that we're in some kind of channel like this too. So, you know, that's how I would look at this. And then you get above that and we're in good shape. So I would almost say, just for the sake of where we're at, let's just get rid of this stuff, right? Let's just get rid of it. We're inside of something bigger. Now we form this little channel. And once we get over that is when we can create abundance in this chart. So we've got that. That's good. So I think we're in good shape. Ethereum's up 0.5%. 21 bucks here already. That's a pretty quick run up, 1.2%. It's going to get over this area and at least retest these higher boundaries. I'm confident in that at some point here. It has to. It has to. Sunny days in Asian accent. I don't even know if I could do it like that. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. But for the sake of not getting fined by the FCC, I think I'll stick to my own way today. We wouldn't want those sons of bitches to come after us. Oops, there's the fine again. We're going to have a beat button soon. So with XRP Healthcare in the daily, we do have this death cross. So there could still be some more pain here. If we don't break through this, we're coming back to 4.3 cents. But at some point, this is going to have some healthy correction up as well. I'm telling you, this is one that I wouldn't want to miss down the road. And I'm very happy we were buying it at 1.7 cents. I'm not going to lie. And all the way up to the mid twos or whatever. My average was somewhere around 2 cents. I'm very happy with it. And I think we're doing like a little handle here long term. Because we're in a very big cup and handle. But nonetheless, we'll continue this later. I hope some of you will comment how you liked the live today. And just, in a sense, the way that we conducted ourselves today. Because we're all family. I can't do this by myself. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Ladies and gentlemen, the sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I'm so cool. I can predict the charts. Happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not get caught in the fun. Oh, we're gonna crash and we did and we will and we won't and we will and we may and they say we will and we won't and they don't know anymore but we do but they don't and we will and we won't and we will and we can and we won't and we will and we do and we will and we can and we do and we will and we will. Oh yeah. Stay true. Stay blessed. And this is not Pinocchio. But yes, one person, well, I'm sure more than you. I did change the words. When I said I'm so cool, I can predict the charts. I only said that one other time in the history of this show, and somebody made a tape of it. So that's, I don't know, it just felt right to do it like that today. It kind of just comes out. So thank you everybody so much from the bottom of my heart. I felt like this was the best live we've done in 2025. I loved it. I love the closeness. And let's do it again tomorrow, okay? Have a blessed evening, everybody. I got to go be dad. Dad's got to go back in charge. Have a good one, everybody. Oh, no. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Turn that bell notification to all. And join Tom's Army, for God's sake. This guy needs it. Please join Tom's Army. Tom's Army emerging. So many people leave Tom's Army. We need to support this gentleman. That was some very kind words. I mean, we wouldn't want to let our friend down. So please subscribe to the channel. And we're not quite hemorrhaging, but you know, that's fair.